What's up, guys? So it's about 12:27 here. The DCU announcement was made about 11 o'clock, so about an hour and a half. I had to get some things ready, but I haven't seen too much. I've seen Hollywood Reporter. I think I might have read the first few lines. But yeah, very excited. I did a video last night with my predictions. I think the Superman movie was announced, that's for sure. But let's go ahead and get into this. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and watch the video that James Gunn posted. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't seen it. I saw that it was called Gods and Monsters, Chapter 1. So let's go ahead and get into that video. All right, here we go. So he just tweeted an hour ago, just a few of our plans, up and away, hashtag DC Studios, hashtag DCU, DC Comics. So it's a 6-minute video. That's awesome. So we'll go ahead and watch this video. We'll react to it. And let's see what we got.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Okay. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne.
Finally,
this is based on
Damian
Grant
Wayne,
Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film.
What?
Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about. A very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Wow. All right. So there you have it. So many things. Okay, I was expecting like 3 or 4 projects. I think that was like 6 or 7 maybe. Wow. So he's definitely has the Trinity in there. There's a Superman film, a Batman and Robin movie, which makes sense to me because that really separates it from the Batman. There is no Robin there. That's kind of a Batman detective story, where this is obviously, if he has Damian Wayne, then this means he's an older Batman, old enough to have already had a history with Talia al Ghul and all that. So that's exciting. I actually haven't read those comics, so that would be I think it's Grant Morrison that wrote those. I could be wrong, but yeah, so you've got your Superman, you've got Batman, and then Paradise Lost, which is a Wonder Woman film or a show. It was a Wonder Woman. It's not a Wonder Woman centered, but it's centered in Themyscira. So I'm assuming Wonder Woman would show up, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's before that. Before she gets there. I don't know. We don't know. Still early. And then there was a lot of obscure characters. Creature Commandos, honestly I've never heard of them. I've heard of Wildstorm, and the fact that they're incorporating those into the DCU is exciting. It's new characters that we really don't know anything about. But I think as long as you nail those legacy characters and those big Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, as long as you get those right, I think you can easily throw other characters in there with them. Excited about Swamp Thing. Oh, Supergirl that seems like it's going to be a pretty epic film. And Swamp Thing. He said it was outside of the DCU, but very much connected. So I'm not sure what that actually means. So yeah, it's a lot to break down there. They've been on the job since November, December, January, so roughly 3 months, and seems like they've been busy. No casting, which I've kind of figured. And that's so, yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. I'm curious. He still seemed a little. Maybe I'd missed it, but maybe I can go back and watch it. But I'm still curious about how these films that come out this year, meaning Shazam, Aquaman, Flash, do those connect? Because he did say Superman kind of starts off with, that's where we really start, So I don't know. Maybe I didn't hear it correctly, or maybe it just slipped by me. But it sounds like there might be. And Waller, Waller being something like, Viola Davis is awesome. Don't get me wrong. So, and he mentioned Peacemaker. So I'm kind of thinking that what we get this year is going to be connected to the DCU, including that Superman movie. So that's already a pretty huge story right there, where you have those characters, and then you have Superman, and starting off so you're building a Justice League right there. So pretty exciting. That is, I'm sure the fans are going to go crazy over this, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. One more thing I want to do is read the Hollywood Reporter article. So we'll go ahead and pull that up right here. So I'm just going to read this and see if there's any nuggets I can pull out of here. A new Batman movie without Robert Pattinson, so kind of confirming that this is going to be totally separate. And he did mention there's an Elseworlds imprint of DC Studios, which makes sense because those movies are, Joker's an Academy Award winner. You want to let people play in that Elseworlds world and do things there. So, but featuring Bruce Wayne's murderous son. So obviously Damian Wayne. I don't know why they don't mention him there, but a lot of people are gonna like Damian Wayne. I hope they cast that well. Curious to know how old he will be. A Superman movie on the release schedule. Mark your calendars for July 11th. So we have a official release date for Superman, July 11th, 2025. Get ready. Mark your calendars. A Game of Thrones style drama set on Wonder Woman's home island in Themyscira, Amazonian palace intrigue, and an animated series already in production, Creature Commandos. Wait, what? Yeah, exactly. That was my thought. That's just part of what will be coming to the theaters and TV screens as part of DC Studios bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran's new slate. The pair have been busy in the 3 months since taking over and combining the film and television of DC properties, including live action and animation, as well as gaming. They revamped the way the movie and TV sides do business, cutting ties with projects and creators. Writers' room is formed to find an overall story, DC Universe. Creators have been approached, and a plan, at least part one of what is being billed as Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, are formulated, and a slate of projects put into development. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention the Lanterns live action with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. So that, just the fact that we're getting Jon Stewart finally, and a hopefully a very well written Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, that's pretty awesome. So like I said, we've already got the almost entire Justice League ready to go. I mean, we haven't casted him yet. Let's not get too crazy, but it's written, it's on paper, so it's happening. Now, after ambitiously promising fans that they would have something to show by Feb 1st, Gunn and Safran have unveiled the first part of their slates, combination of big and known heroes along with lesser known characters who may just become big like the once obscure heroes. So, Guardians of the Galaxy films over at Marvel Studios. So yeah, that's kind of James Gunn taking these characters, which I'm thinking Creature Commandos and Wildstorm are going to be these characters I've never heard of. So that's exciting, and making them known, So I don't really have a lot of insight there because I've never heard of these characters. The duo shared their plans Monday with reporters. So they did have a private screening, and then that's why all these articles have already been written. That was yesterday. One of our strategies is to take our diamond characters, which is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and we use them to prop up other characters that people don't know. That's okay. And continue Safran to build those lesser-known properties into the diamond properties of tomorrow. While plans may yet shift, the duo is Caution the duo. Here is initial slate of Chapter 1 in the order they will appear. So Creature Commandos is first. Waller. Animated 7-episode series. Already in production. Fighting Nazis. Modern take on the concept. Voice actors. So he said that the voice actors there'll be some crossover where if they're an animated character, they might show up in the live action with the same actors. Waller spinoff on Gunn's HBO Max Peacemaker. Viola Davis will return, so that's confirmation. Being written by Crystal Henry, Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, the creator of the Doom Patrol series. Doom Patrol was excellent, so that's Watchmen was great, so that's good hiring there. Superman Legacy, the movie featuring the Man of Steel that Gunn is writing and may direct, although no commitments on the end have been made. I think he's going to direct. He has to direct. He doesn't have to, but I think he should. While the two previous titles are meant to be imperative, I don't know, in Safran's words, Superman is the true kickoff for the duo's DCU plans. It's not an origin story, Safran said. It focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing and is the embodiment of truth, justice, the American way. He is kindness in a world that thinks that kindness is old-fashioned, and a release date of July 11th. I like that. Kindness in a world that thinks that kindness is old-fashioned. That's cool. Lanterns, Greg Berlanti's long in the works Green Lantern series, which means they did renew Greg Berlanti's contract, so this makes sense that he finally gets to work on his Lanterns project. Oh wait, I read that wrong. I spoke too soon. His series was scrapped and the duo have parted ways. Okay, so ignore everything I just said. In its place will be a new take on the space cops. I like that. With power rings. Our vision for this is very much in the vein of True Detective. Are you kidding me? True Detective in space with Green Lanterns? I'm in. If you like True Detective, season 1, season 3 I haven't seen. Season 2 was a little weird, but season 1 is epic. It's terrestrial based. It will feature prominent Lanterns heroes Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and is one of the most important shows they have in development. Awesome. That means they're putting a lot of focus in it. Means they're probably putting a lot of money into it. That's good. This plays a really big role in leading into the main story we're telling across. So he said they're going to discover something probably, in space, headed towards Earth, where everyone's got to come together. So The Authority, based off a team of superheroes with rather extreme methods of protecting the planet, that fast originated in the late 1990s under an influential imprint known as Wildstorm, run by artist and now head of DC Publishing Jim Lee. One of the things DCU is that not just part of the stories of heroes and villains, said Gunn. Not every film and TV show is going to be about good guy versus bad guy, giant things falling from the sky, and good guys win. There are white hats, black hats, and gray hats. They're kind of like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. They know that you want them on the wall, or at least they believe that. Okay. Like I said, don't know much about The Authority. Paradise Lost, the duo described this HBO Max series as Game of Thrones style drama set in an all-female island that is Wonder Woman's birthplace, Themyscira, filled with political intrigue and scheming between power players. It takes place before the events of the Wonder Woman films. Interesting. So it looks like Gal Gadot will probably stay, and so it's not a full reboot, is what I'm kind of gathering, because you're bringing some of the actors back. So that might rub some people the wrong way. I kind of expected that, so it doesn't really. I don't know. I'm not bothered by that. I think it's smart because you kind of already have some things that could easily just connect. But I know people. Some people will get upset that certain projects aren't a part of it. So we'll see. I mean, I'm wondering how the Flash ties in all this too. So, anyways. That's the Wonder Woman project. The Brave and the Bold. So let's read this. The Brave and the Bold. This is the introduction of the DCU Batman, said Gunn, of Bruce Wayne, and also introduces our favorite Robin, Damian Wayne, who's a little son of a bitch. The movie will take inspiration from the now classic Batman run by Grant Morrison, and introduce Batman as a son he never knew existed, murderous tween raised by assassins, very strange father and son story. And importantly, it will feature a Batman not played by Robert Pattinson. Okay, and then Pattinson will continue to play Dark Knight at least one more crime saga movie directed by Matt. The movie, the executives reveal, will be released. So I guess they're kind of with the Batman. It's interesting because, there's two Batmans, and it looks like Matt Reeves' Batman is obviously in an Elseworlds story, but it seemed like it's on a movie by movie basis, not some planned out trilogy or 5-movie deal. Looks like it's just Batman 2 is the only thing for sure that's going to happen. So I think that's pretty normal, though. 2025 is going to be a very big year for DC. Crow, Sapphire, and Superman and Batman within the same year. That's awesome. Booster Gold, HBO Max series based on a unique and lower-tiered hero created in 1986. Sapphire said the series is about a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. Gunn describes it as an imposter syndrome as superhero. I love it. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, taking its cues from the recent Tom King written miniseries. The movie project promises to have a different take on what most people think of when the idea of Superman's cousin comes to mind. We will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock, a chip off Krypton, and who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life, and then come to Earth. She is much more hardcore and not the Supergirl we're used to. And finally, Swamp Thing, a horror film that promises to close out the first part of the first chapter. Alright, so that is the Hollywood Reporter article. Kind of goes into a little bit more detail and kind of make sure that we covered everything that he covered in the video. Let's go ahead and hop on over to Twitter and just see what's kind of going on there before we close out this video. So let's go here. DC Studios. We'll just look at this, see what's out there. So we got James Gunn's his video, Wildstorm. Superman's my favorite fictional character. IP has been severely neglected. Bare minimum. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems like they're treating Superman like he's the basis of this universe, and that's where it should be, and that's smart. So Elseworlds is Joker 2, Batman 2, DC. Okay, so yeah, okay. I think these movies here, the Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman are gonna. It's still up in the air whether they're gonna tie in or not. Maybe. That's true. To have a video like come out where you have the head of the studio, I mean, we haven't had that in a long time for DC. So whether at least they're doing things the right way. Now, we haven't seen any of these movies yet, so it's still way early in the game. But if you're just to look at what they're doing and how they're doing it, it seems like they know what they're doing and they at least have a plan, which is something we never had before. And they know that coming into it, and he still took the job, so you got to respect that a little bit. So let's read a couple more here and let's close this out. Batman 2. Yeah, so you know, the next thing will be casting. Who are they going to cast as these characters? A lot of casting to do, tons. So that'll be fun. But yeah, today was a big day for DC fans, movie fans. this is a good